Name of the life giver, pain bearer, and spirit maker. Amen. One of the many reasons Jesus' message stands out is because it challenges how people see the world. Often, people believe that suffering is just part of life, that some people are meant to struggle, and there's nothing we can do about it. But Jesus steps into these tough realities and offers a different way to look at things. He doesn't stick with the simple idea that everything has a cause and effect, a set path. Instead, he shows that there's always a chance for something new, an opening for change and transformation, as we see today in the story of the healing of the 10 lepers. This new perspective that Jesus asks us to participate in is based on trust, which is at the heart of what the Greek word pistis means. Pistis is usually translated as faith, as we see today in the last verse of our gospel reading. Get up and go on your way, your faith has made you well. But it is not just about having all the answers or never doubting. It is about trusting that there is goodness and kindness in the world, even when things seem hard. In the Gospels, there are many stories about healing. Time and again, Jesus says, your faith has made you well. These words aren't a promise that believing will make all your problems disappear or cure every illness, or even that the act of healing that we are hoping for results in that outcome, that specific outcome we hope for. Instead, this is an invitation to trust deeply, to have hope and courage, even when life feels uncertain. Faith is not about being sure of a certain outcome. It's about trusting in the promise of new life, renewal, and resurrection. This kind of trust helps people face even the hardest moments in life. And you might remember times in your life when this has happened. For example, when facing illness or loss, holding on to the belief that God's love and goodness will last and will always be with us can help us get through the most difficult times. Gratitude and faith go hand in hand. Both are choices we make and habits we can build over time. They aren't things that some people are born with and others aren't. Instead, gratitude and faith are ways of living and seeing the world. We can grow them through practice and intention, much like going to the gym or exercising. When we practice gratitude, we learn to spot the good things in our lives, even in the midst of pain or difficulty. When we practice faith, we learn to trust, and that new life and change are possible no matter what we're facing. Building gratitude and faith isn't something we do alone. These two virtues are both personal and communal. When we choose to give thanks or trust in the goodness of God, it helps shape the world around us. Our choices encourage others to also do the same. Sometimes when we're struggling and can't find gratitude or faith, our community can step in. Friends, family, neighbours, or other communities we are involved in can offer support, holding on to hope and thankfulness for us until we are able to do it for ourselves. This shared responsibility brings people together, creating a spirit of kindness and solidarity, uniting us together in communion with one another and with God, and is so essential for us, particularly when we do face times of challenges and change. It is important to know that gratitude and faith are not always strong. Sometimes they may feel bright and easy, and other times they may feel far away and hard to find. The key is to keep trying, to come back to these practices even when it's tough. By doing this, We respect our own journey and make space for others as well to find their way. There is no shame in struggling, even if at the time we're going through difficulties, it may feel like that. What matters most is the willingness to keep going, to reach out and to trust that with time, gratitude and faith will return, and we will see that God was standing beside us all along. For those of you who are familiar with the Footsteps in the Sand poem, that's something that came to mind as I was thinking of this. Through difficulties and through our darkest times, God is still with us. After all, God doesn't invite us into a fair weather friendship or relationship, but one that spans through the full range of emotions and all expressions of our varied and diverse lived experiences. The good, the bad, and the in-between. In everyday life, we could build gratitude through simple habits. And maybe some of you already do this. We might keep a journal to write down things we're thankful for each day, or we might bring them to God in prayer. We might tell our friends and family what we appreciate about them, noticing the small joys in life. Maybe a nice cup of tea, a sunny day, or perhaps a cooler day, depending on what the weather is like in your region at the moment, and a smile from a stranger. Noticing these small joys, they can make it easier to find gratitude even when times are tough. Whether we hold these things before God or express our thanks to one another by saying thank you. Nurturing faith also takes practice. Some people find faith through prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection. Others find it in acts of kindness and joining with community or taking part in worship, or a bit of everything. At its core, faith is about choosing to trust, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's about leaning into the unknown, believing that God's goodness and love are present, even if we can't see them or feel them right now. And for those of you who struggle to feel grateful or faithful, you are not alone. I think it's something we all have times in our lives when we feel this way. And it's important to remember that there is no deadline or rule about when you should feel these things. What you are feeling now, or what you have felt through whatever challenges you face, those feelings are valid. Life can be very challenging, and sometimes it's hard to practice gratitude or faith. That's okay. The invitation is always there, offered gently and patiently. It's not a demand. And in the meantime, others can hold that space for us, showing gratitude and faith on our behalf until we are ready. That is part of the beauty and joy of being in community with one another, as we celebrate together and lift each other up with love and support and gentleness. In the end, gratitude and faith help us to see life differently. They encourage us to look beyond what's happening on the surface and find meaning, even when things are uncertain. And sometimes that's a very hard thing to do. They also help us to celebrate the good. In amongst all the challenges and difficulties we face, and trust in the possibility that things will change, that there will be renewal. By practicing gratitude and faith alone and with others, we help create a world that is kinder, more hopeful, and open to transformation. In doing this, we are not only offering our thanks and praise to God, but we are also working as co-creators with God, working for God's kingdom here on earth amongst us. So let's keep choosing gratitude, building it up through daily actions and sharing it with those around us. Let us embrace faith, leaning into trust and believing in new beginnings, even when things are tough or changing. And let us support each other, remembering that everyone's path is different, and that together we can make a place where gratitude and faith can grow. In doing this, we affirm God's goodness at the heart of reality and help shape a future full of hope and possibility. As our world changes and challenges come our way globally, individually, and as a community, gratitude, trust, and faith become even more important. These virtues help us face uncertainty and adapt to new situations. By practicing them, we are staying grounded, find strength, and support each other through all those tough times, and rest on God's presence amongst us. Let us hold on to gratitude for the good we see, giving thanks to God, trusting in the kindness around us, and keeping faith in the promise and eternal hope that we share. Together, we can meet changing times with courage and build a brighter future for all, trusting in God's presence with us and giving thanks for all that is good. In the name of Christ, Amen.